Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to do the unboxing and overview of the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Now this is a device that has been covered on numerous websites and videos already. This is one of the most unique phones that have come out probably in the last 10 years at least. So it's very unique, very innovative. It is the first folding phone, and of course I think everyone has already heard that followed mobile phones, that Samsung actually came out with a prototype version and it didn't work very well, and then they released this version is the consumer version, right? So they fixed up a lot of those issues in the prototypes that were sent to tech reviewers, and this is the one that's actually been released to people like you and me, right? I'm a tech reviewer, but I'm not one of those big tech reviewers on YouTube that make a lot of money and get millions of views and stuff. I'm just basically an average guy that does YouTube as a hobby. So this is the device you will see in store shelves, right? So presumably with all those issues with the screen and dust and all those issues that happened in the prototype fixed, right? So anyways, this phone, of course, one of the most expensive phones on the market right now. Retail price of almost $2,000. I think you can find it for much less right now online. But as far as the MSRP is concerned, yes, almost $2,000 US is the suggested retail price of this phone new. So that is quite a hefty premium, but you are paying for one of the most unique and innovative phones in recent memory. So that's what that money is going to. At least it's not one of those luxury phones like a Virtu or like one of those BlackBerry Porsche designs. One of those phones probably not worth the 2,000 bucks that you pay for those. But this phone, at least somewhat worth it, because you're paying for the early adoption tax, right? The innovative form factor and everything. Yeah, you get this white box. It had this black sleeve, but the actual box for the phone is white. And the color of the phone is black. So here it is. This is the Samsung Galaxy Fold. So just to give you a rundown of the specs here, the folded out tablet display is 7.3 inches. So it's 1536 by 2152, has HDR10 plus. Of course, it is AMOLED because it's a folding display. And if you fold it up, the cover display is a 4.6 inch display with a resolution of 720 by 1680. It is upgradable all the way up to Android 10, but of course has Samsung's One UI interface running on top of that. The chipset is a Snapdragon 855. Now this phone was released late last year, so 855 was the top chipset at the time. And then the Adreno 640 GPU, 512 gigs of internal storage, which is one of the biggest storages that you could find on any mobile phone actually. 512 gigabytes is pretty massive. That's more than most laptops actually, right? You would have to upgrade a laptop to get that much internal storage. 12 gigs of RAM, again, pretty big, and more than your typical laptop. And yeah, let's actually save that for later. Let's take a look at what else is inside the box here. Alright, and actually there's some interesting text here. It says, "Welcome to an entirely new era that will change the way you interact, communicate, and experience everyday life. Galaxy Fold reimagines the smartphone screen and employs tissue-thin layers of new materials to produce never-before-seen screen flexibility. Precisely refined, slender, and case luxuriously finished materials let you fully immerse yourself to whatever you are. Meet your Galaxy Fold." Okay, cool. You get Premier service because this is a premium device. So you get that. And then this, I guess, is the manual and the warranty and everything. Let's just take a look. Okay, so you get the, yep, this is a manual in Chinese, warranty also in Chinese, and Samsung Pay, which I've never used, and this is a SIM card ejector tool. Right. And this is not, is this a case? Yeah, I guess this is a case. So this is a silicone case for the Galaxy Fold, I guess. But I don't think it's a very good case. It's just a very cheap case, but it's also acting as a holder for all these materials, so that's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's just inside that box here, and then here you have this is I'm guessing I don't have the US version of this device, because this brick looks like it's for the UK or something. This is definitely not a US plug. And then this is a USB-C to USB-A adapter. There you go, yeah. So you get a USB-C to USB-A adapter, and you get a power brick. I guess mine's not the US version. And then it comes with AKG earbuds, so that kind of helps the price a little bit, right? Because if these earphones were sold separately, it would be around like 80 bucks, I'm guessing. So that kind of takes off the sting of the price a little bit, these AKG earbuds. And then this is the cables, I'm guessing. Yeah, so this is just your standard USB-C cables. Nothing to write home about there. But yeah, that's what comes inside the box. It's your adapters and cables. Alright, so here is the device itself. Like I said, it's a 7.3 inch display once you unfold it, and then once you fold it, then it becomes a 4.6 inch display on the front. So there's just two displays here, one on the front and then the inside one that expands out. Then there's a variety of different cameras I'm going to go through as well. So as you can tell that this phone is actually pretty thick, and it has to be pretty thick to accommodate this folding mechanism, of course. Then if you look at the cameras, right, on the back there's a triple camera system setup going on right here. I'm guessing this is ultra wide, regular wide, and telephoto. So the wide angle is a 12 megapixel f1.5 to 2.4 27 millimeter with optical image stabilization. Then the telephoto is a 12 megapixel f2.4 52 millimeter with optical image stabilization and 2x optical zoom. Then the ultra wide is 16 megapixel f2.2 12 millimeter. And I do find that having these three lenses is really useful because I have an iPhone 11 Pro, and the telephoto is probably my least used, but I do appreciate the ultra wide because I do use the ultra wide a lot. And of course it records 4K video at 60 FPS, you can do HDR10, all that good stuff. Now there's also three other cameras. So the selfie camera here in the front, this is 10 megapixel f2.2, and then when you open up the device, alright, then the two cameras on the inside here, the first one is a 10 megapixel f2.2, it's 26 millimeter, and then an 8 megapixel f1.9 24 millimeter, both wide angle. Of course, yeah, there's a lot of cameras on this device. Three different cameras, so you got three selfie cameras, one here, two on the inside here, and then three on the back here. And of course you got the flash here, and of course it charges with USB-C as expected. Does create a bit of a gap. You can see there's a bit of a gap in the device right here. As you can see, it's not the thinnest device, but it is definitely one of the coolest. It kind of reminds me of the Surface Book. You have this gap here, and it has stereo speakers, does not have a headphone jack, unfortunately. Does come with high-res audio that's been tuned by AKG, whatever that means. Then comes with all your regular stuff like Bluetooth 5.0, aptX HD, Wi-Fi, AC, Wi-Fi 6, all that good stuff. Does have a fingerprint sensor that's side-mounted. So if you look here, on the side here is a SIM card slot right here. And then this, I'm guessing, is a volume rocker. This is the on button, and then you have a fingerprint sensor here on the side. I don't think that Samsung has other phones usually with the side fingerprint sensor. It's usually something that Sony Xperias do. Samsungs usually have it on the back, so it's interesting to see it on the side here. Of course, I'm guessing because of the design. Alright, let's charge it and turn it on and see how it works. Alright, so now I got the Galaxy Fold all set up and running. So here you can see the front 4.6 inch display. And it looks a little bit weird because it almost looks like they fit like a small mini phone inside of this phone. But this is a 4.6-inch display, which is the size that most smartphones were, like say 5 or 6 years ago, right? So you can actually do everything that you can on any Galaxy phone on this front display. You don't have to use the inner display at all. Actually, you can do anything that you want on this display only, which actually might be a good option if you want to conserve battery life. So this is the front display here. It looks a little bit weird because there's so much space here that's unused. It doesn't take up the full size of the device, but it is here. One thing I have to mention is the fingerprint sensor here doesn't register that well. I always had to try at least 2 or 3 times to get it to actually work. So it's not like the Sony Xperia devices. With the Sony Xperia devices, it almost always worked on the first try. The Samsung, I mean, I like the fact that they put the sensor here because I think it's convenient, but it doesn't seem to work that well. It's not extremely accurate. Also, the front display changes its wallpaper every time. I don't know, maybe that's a normal thing for Samsung devices, but it is pretty cool just to see a different display picture every time. I don't know, I don't use Samsungs as my main phone, so I don't know, maybe this is just a Samsung UI thing, but I thought it was pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, you have to keep trying to unlock it. So yeah, this is a front display, and anything that you can do with the front display, any app that you run will actually carry over to the inner display. So for example, okay, so let's say if I want to run Chrome, right? So it's Chrome, and then I pull up Engadget, and then this display right here might be good for just navigating through menus, but say I want to actually read an article or something like that, then I can open up the display here and it just continues on the inner display. So that's pretty cool, right? You don't have to launch a new app or anything, it just continues like that. And of course also works in landscape as well. So I can see this larger secondary display, this tablet display, being really useful for things that you would prefer to do on a tablet, right? Like read an ebook or read a website, watch a video, watch a movie, play a game. Basically anything that benefits from a bigger screen. That's what the Galaxy Fold is meant for, right? It's very, very versatile and flexible that way. Another thing is that you will see a noticeable crease here. So if you do put it under direct light or sunlight, you can see that there is a crease here. So for people who really care about this, this might be a deal breaker, I don't know. But for others, maybe it doesn't bother you that much, but it is here. And yeah, this is the Galaxy Fold. Very, very cool device. Launch the camera. So there is a front camera on the front display as well. So this front camera isn't very good quality. If we open it up, it should switch to the front camera on the inner display now. And the 2 modes on the inner display front camera, you have the normal wide angle mode, and then you have the, I wouldn't call this ultra wide angle, but it's a wider angle, I guess. So you can take a picture here. All right. Then if you want to try the back camera, we can do that as well. First of all, we can try that on the front display as well. I gotta unlock it every time. It's a little bit annoying that you have to unlock it every time you close the phone. So let's go to the back camera and say I want to take a picture of my Pixel book right here. So the back camera, yep, so this is a normal wide angle right here, and then I can go telephoto right here, which is optical zoom by 2x, and then I can go ultra wide right here. So just like you have on an iPhone 11 Pro, you have these 3 modes. So all right, let's take a picture with the ultra wide. I'm guessing that the picture quality is better on the normal wide. Usually the ultra wide lens isn't as good. So we can take a look in the gallery right here. Let's actually open up the gallery. All right, so these are the pictures that we took, right? This is the selfie cam and the ultra wide and the normal wide. So, say we want to see these pictures on a bigger display. Well, I'll just transfer over like that so you can see it on a bigger display. And these cameras are probably just as good as the ones on Samsung's flagship phones last year. because this came out last year, has the same flagship specs as the S10, I guess. Samsung's Galaxy flagship last year, so I'm guessing the camera is about the same quality as well, which is to say it's a pretty good camera, right? This is not a throwaway camera or anything, it's pretty decent. Alright, so yeah, it's the camera quality, which is what you would expect from a Samsung flagship. Then if I want to watch YouTube videos, I can do that too. Right, that's another thing I would probably do on a device like this. And by the way, there's a split keyboard here. You can also change the keyboard layout. 3x4 QWERTY. I like the split keyboard. It's meant for, you know, easier typing when you're in this tablet mode. And it kind of reminds me of the Samsung Q1, which is a really old UMPC device that Samsung released way back in the mid-2000s that had this split keyboard, but it was a hardware split keyboard. All right, so let's see. All right, so say I want to view something like this. Okay, all right. So say I want to view something like this, and then right, and go full screen. Obviously much better for watching movies and video compared to your regular old smartphone. And if you want to watch it on the small display for whatever reason, we can do that too. It is. Alright, so here it is actually in landscape mode on the smaller display. And of course, if you want to continue watching it on the bigger display, it just carries over without a hitch. Without a hitch, so that's pretty cool. Just works. No. Oh, I guess this has to be landscape, yeah. There we go. Alright, and yeah, I don't play many smartphone games, but for people who play smartphone games, then obviously this bigger display will be a lot better as well. And yeah, another thing I want to show is multitasking. So say I'm on Chrome, and let's say I'm checking out Google Finance, and I'm checking my stocks and stuff. So another way you can do this is we can choose another application, and we can actually put it side by side. So say I'm checking my calendar, so I can launch my calendar and then hold and then drag to the side. Now this is similar to how Windows 10 actually would do multitasking. And I put it on the side here. I can check my agenda. Right, so right now I'm multitasking with my finances open, right? I'm checking my stocks, and I have my calendar here as well to check my meetings and agenda. I can make this one bigger if I want to. I can also make it smaller or make it disappear. Now, you know what would be more helpful than having a calendar is having a calculator here, right? I want to check my profit and my losses. So actually I can swipe from the side here, and there's actually a widget window, and this can be anything, right? These are my most recently used, but it can be any app that's on the side here. You can edit it to whatever you want, but say I want the calculator appears here, right? And now I can do some calculations on how much profit I made on which stocks, right? So that could be a good use case for this multitasking feature. But yeah, this multitasking feature is pretty cool, and I can see this one being a selling point for this device. For people who want to do things just like they do on a desktop, then you can definitely do that on this phone here / tablet. It is a combination device, very, very versatile for many use cases. Again, very vibrant OLED display, right? So it's great for consuming content. So anything basically that would benefit from a bigger display, right, is probably what you would use here, right? So like playing games or watching movies or video, viewing web pages, reading an ebook, anything that benefits from a bigger display, then this is a very versatile device because you no longer have to carry another tablet, right? And much more, this tablet can fit in your pocket. An idea that has been going on for a while now, actually. I remember the Sony Tablet P. That device came out all the way back in 2011. I actually have a video on that device as well. But that was probably one of the first devices that kind of explored having this form factor where you have a device that you can fit in your pocket that can fold out into a full-size tablet that you can use, right? So in this case, you don't need to bring another tablet anymore, right? Because tablets are usually very bulky, and you need to dedicate some space in your backpack for it, and you definitely can't fit it in your pocket, right? So this device, the first device that we've seen that's a phone that can fold out into a tablet that can fit in your pocket. And it's almost like there's obviously compromises with this device. It's not perfect, but it does the job a lot better than anything else before it, right? I mean, this is like leagues better than the Sony Tablet P, right? Or any of those kind of devices, or the dual screen devices even, like the LG G8X or the ZTE Axon M is they kind of wanted to bring that concept, but the Galaxy Fold, truly the first device that really kind of hits it, I think, in a kind of a seamless way. So yeah, also the battery life, right? You would probably want to use the front display more if you really want to conserve your battery life, because obviously the inner display is going to suck up more juice. It does come with a 4380 milliamp hour battery, which is quite a bit, but I mean, considering the fact that it has to power a whole bunch of cameras, a whole bunch of screens here, especially that bigger 7.3 inch display, I think if you want to conserve your battery life, you'd probably want to do more work on this front display here and only use the larger display when you really need it. Unless you want to carry around a battery pack or something like that. But I can't see this device lasting for that long if you're using this bigger 7.3 inch display. But yeah, very, very cool device. The Galaxy Fold. Interesting, the Samsung logo just kind of just disappears when you fold it flat like that. Very, very futuristic smartphone. Probably the most innovative smartphone we've seen probably in the last decade, right? Because unfortunately, smartphone design has been stagnant for the past 10 years. We've just been seeing black slabs everywhere. You know, the 2000s were probably the most experimental time for phone designs. And after the iPhone came out, the black slab was basically the form factor, the candy bar form factor, right? We don't see sliders, we don't see flip phones anymore. Now we have the Galaxy Fold, which truly brings us something unique. Now, I do have the Razer Fold here as well, right? Another folding device, and this is the one I personally use. Comparing the two, I'd say that if you're looking for something that brings more to the table, definitely the Galaxy Fold does that. The Z Flip and the Razer Fold are vertical folding devices, but they don't actually do anything that a regular smartphone doesn't do, right? I mean, it's just smaller. That's it, right? It's just smaller, but if you really want a device that truly pushes the boundaries, that actually does something that a regular phone doesn't do, then the Galaxy Fold is it. And it's the only device so far that's like that. I haven't seen anyone review the Huawei Mate X, I guess. I don't know if that's out already. But so far, the Galaxy Fold seems like the only device on the market that can really do this until the Huawei Mate X comes out. But that's a very, very similar device. Basically, regular smartphone, right? Once you turn it on, it is thicker, of course. But then you open it up and bam, right? Full-size tablet right here. Technology that was not possible a few years ago now is possible. And this hinge right here, I know you got to be careful with this hinge. It's this is what caused a lot of the issues on the early Samsung Galaxy Fold prototypes, but I guess Samsung's fixed it. But still, you know, I wouldn't risk using this phone out on the beach or something like that. It's not IP67, not IP68 resistant, not rated, anything like that. And I'm not sure how well this phone will stand up to dust or water, those kind of things. So I would still be careful with this device because it is a premium device, right? So it's a $2,000 device. Treat it like a $2,000 device, right? Don't treat it like the S8 Active, right? It's not meant to be a super rugged device. This is a premium phone and it's a cutting edge device. So just be mindful of that. But I'm sure that Samsung has fixed a lot of those issues. But yeah, I would still be careful with it. It is an expensive device. But yeah, that's the Samsung Galaxy Fold. I guess it's just a glimpse of what's to come, right? I mean, you can tell that this is a first-gen device. I would say among the foldable phones so far released, right, compared to the Razer Fold, which I got mainly for the design, right? I explained that in my review video of this device. It's amazing what it can do, and it's just, I can't wait to see what folding phones will come out in the future, right, that improves on this design. I think Samsung's already working on a second version of this device. So I can't wait, right, to see what that would look like, because obviously it's a first-gen device, but it still works so well for what it's designed to do, especially compared to previous efforts, right? Like I said, smartphone companies have been for a very long time trying to make a phone that will be a tablet that can fit in your pocket, that can kind of be this dual purpose device, and this is really the first phone that really hits that, right? And we've seen dual screen devices, Microsoft Duo, right? That's another one that's coming out, but none quite like this, right? And I know it's $2,000. It's really expensive, but you can find it on eBay for a lot cheaper than that. I think I've seen some on eBay for $1,000. Not sure the condition of it is totally brand new, but I've seen some pretty good condition ones for around $1,000. So definitely, I think for that price, for $1,000, I would definitely try to pick this one up, because that's like the same price as a new iPhone, right? And you don't want to be just another iPhone user. You want to be a user that uses a next-gen device like this, right? Isn't that a lot cooler? I know I would, anyways, because I'm a geek. But that's just me. Anyways, that's it, guys. That's the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Really, really unique device. And again, if you can pick this up for like $1,000 on eBay, which I've seen some, then do it. Check it out. I guess if you use your tablet as often as you do your phone, you'll definitely like this device. And it's got flagship specs too, and it's just a very unique device. Yeah, people are just gonna look at you and stare at you whenever you open it up like this, right? And there's just no other phone like that right now. That's it, guys. Samsung Galaxy Fold. As always, if you like my videos, please like them. If you love them, please subscribe. And thanks for watching.